Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. And you know what time it is. It's time for the one and only. That lady that keeps working day and night. I rode by her house one night and the light was still on at 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought she went to bed. But I'm talking about that community activist, hard working and bringing you commentary for information. I'm just telling you right now. Georgia Allen.
Hello, hello, hello. What time is it? What time is it? All right.
Yeah.
I am Georgia F. Allen with GA for Justice, and today's topic is crisis, chaos, and competent. We got somebody we're going to bring on today that is absolutely competent. And because we're coming up on voting again in Virginia, early voting starts tomorrow for the primary. We're just going to remind you, vote, vote, vote. Kwanzaa principle for today is Kaumba, creativity. To do always as much as we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. You say, well, why are you doing Kaumba when you're talking about education? Because we want our young people to use their creative thoughts, because we know that inside of them is the creativity and the innovation that we can expect from our young people. Our faith message today is 1 Corinthians 14:33. I'm not going to read the whole scripture, but it says, God is not a God of chaos, but of peace. Or, in other words, he is not a God of disorder or confusion, but he is a God of peace, a God of order, and a God of harmony. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of these things today, maybe not all of them. But again, I bring you greetings. Yes, it is Thursday, and I am Georgia F. Allen with GA for Justice. As always, I want to first and foremost thank you. Thank you, Henderson Vaughn, a.k.a. Captain 85, a.k.a. the Dream Maker on WVDM, who has opened up the airwaves to bring our listening audience a simple conversation. A conversation for information, a conversation for correction whenever necessary, as well as a conversation for transformation. Always like to give a disclaimer. Many of you are well aware that I am out here, worked in civil rights, worked as a community activist for decades. Therefore, the various positions that I may take are mine and mine alone. I do not speak on behalf of any groups or any organizations. And again, yes, it is Thursday, and I am so excited. I'm looking forward to our guest today. And this is someone who has stayed focused on the work when it comes to our young people, when it comes to education. And so therefore, we are excited to introduce to you Dr. ALVETA Green. And I'm going to give you her bio. Dr. ALVETA J. Green, a retired educator, is a native of Norfolk, Virginia. She received her Bachelor's of Arts in English and Master of Education in Guidance and Counseling degrees from Virginia State University. Yes, you see she got her sleeves rolled up, so she's ready to go to work. Frederick, Virginia. Dr. Green earned a doctorate of education, administration, and policy studies from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. Dr. Green's career in K through 12 public education focused on program development and student support services. Upon graduating from Virginia State University, her first teaching job was with Norfolk Public Schools as an English teacher. Following this assignment, Dr. Green held teaching positions in Westmoreland County, Virginia, El Paso, Texas, and abroad for the Department of Defense dependent schools in Ramstein, Germany. Dr. Green served as a school counselor for Petersburg City Public Schools in Virginia and for Chesterfield County Public Schools, also in Virginia. Dr. Green began her school administrative career with Chesterfield County Public Schools. She led statewide educational initiatives while serving as a student services specialist for Virginia Department of Education. In 2005, Dr. Green returned to her home in Hampton Roads as the coordinator of guidance services for Virginia Beach City Public Schools, and later served as the division director for guidance services and student. Dr. King, she's our king on the school board, that's for sure. She is definitely our king on school board. Dr. Green retired from Virginia Beach City Public Schools after 39 years of public education service in June 2022 as the Executive Director of Student Support Services. Dr. Green is highly active with several community-based organizations in Hampton Roads community. She serves as the executive board. She serves on the executive board for Catholic Charities of Eastern Virginia and appointed by Virginia Beach City Council to serve a 3-year term on the City of Virginia Beach Health Advisory Board. Dr. Green is an active Diamond Life member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, a public service organization, and as a member of the Homeowners Association Board of Directors in the community where she resides in the city of Virginia Beach. And she's from District 4. She is my district representative. Bring her on. Bring on Dr. ALVETA J. Green.
She hasn't logged in yet.
Oh, you don't see her?
I know she got it, the link.
Let's see. Let me text her and see if we got an issue. She says she's in.
She's not on my screen.
She's not. Might have to do that flip.
Oh, I see her. They got new technology. I apologize.
That's okay. Look.
I had to
Hey, Dr. Green.
All right. Good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Allen. And I love your title, Mr. Henderson, the Dream Maker. That is what public education is about. Making dreams. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Did you hear that introduction? Did you get to hear the introduction?
I did. Miss Allen, you did a phenomenal job. I'm honored that you few times slipped and said Dr. King. I hope that's that's symbolic of the work that we are currently doing on the school board.
Absolutely, because he was fighting for education for our children years ago, decades ago. And so we understand the power of someone being on the school board representing our concerns and our interests. So with that being said, we got a lot going on.
Yes,
share with the audience about not everything, because you'll be here for 2, 3, 4 weeks if you shared everything. But share with the audience about some of the things that are going on here in the city of Virginia Beach and our school system.
Well, I guess right now, Ms. Allen, the main focus has been on diversity, equity, and inclusion. The resolution that the board majority adopted at our April 8th meeting. Needless to say, that resolution was developed in the dark of night. The full board did not receive it until the evening, late night, the previous day before our April 8th meeting. And it was a good thing I had gone into my email that evening around about 10 p.m. or I may not have seen that until I got on the dais the next day and not know what in the world has happened. Needless to say, unfortunately, it's a sad day in Virginia Beach Public Schools because the resolution was passed. And I would invite our viewers, for the sake of time, when they have an opportunity, if they go online to Virginia Beach Public Schools and go to the link for school board, they will see that resolution in the April 8th minutes and all of the things that resolution is suspending. Anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion is being suspended, and currently is being suspended in Virginia Beach public schools. Needless to say as well, we are hearing quite a bit from our community, which is a good thing. There are people who are for it. And then, of course, there is outrage for those who are against that resolution that was enacted. I encourage the community to go look at the last two meeting videos, the April 8th meeting video, as well as the April 22nd video, if they are not aware of what's transpiring in our division. So, Ms. Allen, let's talk a little bit about the type of things that it possibly will impact. For one, in Virginia Beach Public Schools, where I worked for 17 years, we have always tried to promote the differences that we have with students in terms of culture, ethnicity, you name it, so that all students would be included and would not feel ostracized or not valued. This resolution has unraveled, I would say, roughly about 15 years of work in the school division, many of which I was a part of, that would ensure our students are successful, all students. And I think where the misunderstanding comes from with my colleagues who voted for this, and again, I'm making an assumption, but I feel that I am correct in my assumption, is that I don't think they have an understanding of what is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Certainly, I think the word that my colleagues who moved forward with this resolution got hung up on was the equity part. And I question whether or not they clearly understand the difference between equality and equity. As you and I both know, equality ensures that everyone has the same access, opportunities, etc., resources. Whereas equity provides an additional support, if needed, to anyone who already is included or a part of equality. And certainly our, United States Constitution references, the equality that for many years marginalized groups did not have until, things such as Brown versus Board of Education. And note that here I am with you on May 1st, and on May 17th in 1954, the United States Supreme Court made a ruling in Brown versus Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas, that all students, regardless of race, ethnicity, etc., are to have equal resources. So we kind of got through some of those pieces, but here we are now advocating to ensure that all our students are able to have equity as well. I felt that the young lady, and I know, Ms. Allen, you were at the April 22nd meeting, so this is why I encourage our listeners to go and look at our April 22nd meeting, if no more than to just hear those 10 phenomenal student speakers. They were on point. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. I mean, they delivered with examples. And what I love as a former teacher, they came with data. They came with data. And I think the best example that was given was the young lady who had the Venn board and where she drew the fence. Right. And talked about how, okay.
The height and the fence, yes.
Exactly.
That was excellent.
that was priceless, because it showed where we all had the equality. But you know, if you are 5'1" and the fence is 12 feet high, you're going to need a little support in getting up there.
Absolutely.
So that you can see what's going on the other side. And I thought that was an outstanding example.
And I thought that was on point. Exactly. And I've heard it done in a number of ways. One that I always like was equality means that everybody gets a pair of sneakers, but equity means that everybody's sneakers fit their feet. So what good is it to have a pair of sneakers if I wear a size 6 and you gave me a size 5? That's a little problem right there. Or I wear size 6 and you gave me a size 7. That's equity. That means that we all have sneakers, but we all have sneakers in our specific sizes. So when she did that fence, I was like you. I thought that was absolutely awesome. And it just lets you know, again, creativity, which is my Kwanzaa theme today. That is another example of the ingenuity and the creativity of our young people. It shows you right there. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we treat these students in a manner that when we leave here, they are more beautiful and more beneficial than what we inherited, because they're going to go on and continue on. And I love that example that she used that night. Absolutely. And there are a number of things that's going on. We have an upcoming event, don't we?
Yes. Are you referencing the specially called school board meeting on May the 6th?
May 6th.
At 5 p.m. And I want the public to understand there's a time change. It is at 5 p.m. At the school administration building.
So it's not at the annex.
No,
on Holland Road. So it's going to be at the
administration building. And there is a process that will be put in place to ensure people are comfortable, so we don't have the overcrowding and other hazards that the last meeting created. So there'll be overflow rooms and things as well, to ensure that, people are comfortable if they come to view the meeting, if they come to speak, or both. One of the things that I encourage the community to do is to research this so that you are in a position to speak. And what you will be speaking to if you come out to Tuesday's meeting is only to what is in the resolution, which several of us who requested the meeting, we're requesting a pause with any more suspensions until there's a ruling by the federal courts, because right now we have an injunction against any type of ending of DEI out of one of the federal courts. And that was the genesis of several colleagues and myself asking for this special called meeting, because as we're sitting here right now, Ms. Allen, some of my colleagues continue to use the red pen to erase anything that was equitable. Notice I said equitable in Virginia Beach public schools. I mean, things such as what is a big item that we're hoping that we will be able to pause is school board policy -5-4. That policy sets the foundation for how we implement equity, and inclusion and diversity in Virginia Beach public schools. I am appalled of the redlining of that policy that should be available in the board documents. And if not, Ms. Allen, I will make sure you have a copy so that you can post it to your website, so your listeners can see it. I mean, the policy is all red now, as opposed to black. It wasn't just removing a few words. I mean, they, talk about taking a chainsaw to that. Well, you can't take a chainsaw to paper. So they just literally shredded it with a red pen. For me, as a former English teacher, back in the day, Ms. Allen, when you and we are of the same generation for going to school, that's a lot of times teachers would use a red pen to, to mark up what you did wrong. And as I moved into public education, I realized a red pen has a negative connotation. So in this instance, it has served its purpose for the meaning of what some of my colleagues are trying to do to 5-4. They want you to know they thought it was negative and not appropriate for our school division. I mean, when I say red, it is bleeding red on our paper. And so when the public comes out, if they speak this week on Tuesday, which I encourage them to do, it's very important that they only speak to the motion that is on the floor about pausing. And in that motion, they will see the items that we are requesting to be paused. And that is the only thing they need to speak to, are the items that we are requesting to be paused. Because my fear is, some of our board members, they live by Robert's Rules Order, and I do too, for meeting formats, but our school board policy supersedes Robert's Rules of Order. So based on Robert's Rules of Order, if they do not stick to the topic which we are speaking to in the motion, there's more than likely they will be gavelled to stop their comments. So
that is good to know, because of course a lot of people don't speak at school board meetings or city council meetings, so this may be a first for them. So by you giving us the clarion call, that's extremely important, but explaining what one must do when they initiate their speaking engagement before the city council or school board, and in this case, the school board. Well, we're going to pause for a moment, give you a chance to breathe, because I know how hard it is to talk nonstop on a show. It's interesting how you look at people on television, you look at the media, and you think, gosh, man, they are so good at doing that. And then you come behind the camera and you're like, whew, that's exhausting, because you don't realize how much energy it takes to talk for that period of time. But I'm going to pause and use this for announcements, acknowledgments, commemorations. The month of May has over 154 observances, but I'm just going to name a few. This month is National Poetry Month. Any other time I could say it with no problem. It's also Asian American Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. It's Mental Health Awareness Month and Military Appreciation Month. Along with that, again, is Brown v. Board of Education, which we will talk about a few times throughout the month, because that was very important in terms of changing how we're educated and changing the fact that initially that our schools were better built and our teachers were better. But as time went on, that kind of went by the wayside. So we want to talk about that at another time. A couple of losses that we had who have gone on to be with our ancestors is Dick Barnett. He was born on October the 2nd, 1936, but passed away just last week, this week, April the 27th, 2025. He was a former player for the New York Knicks, which I used to love as a kid. So I saw him play many times on TV. He was a player for LA Lakers, the Cleveland Pipers, and also the Philadelphia 76ers. Then we lost Alexis Herman. Alexis Herman was born July 16, 1947, and she passed away on April the 25th, 2025. A great loss to our community, and so is Dick Barnett. But she was the first Black labor secretary. Prior to that, she was the assistant to the President of the United States and the director of the White House Office of Public Engagement, all under President Clinton's administration. We also lost Mia Love. She was born December the 6th, 1975, and she passed away in March 23rd, 2025. And I forgot to mention her last month, and I think it would be wrong not to mention this young lady who served in Congressional District 4 in Utah. And she was a Haitian American of the Haitian American descent. So these are now our ancestors that we want to pay homage to and commemorate the work they did. Then some upcoming birthdays tomorrow, Dwayne Johnson birthday. On May 3rd, it's going to be Damon Dash and James Brown. I feel good. On May 5th, Chris Brown. On May 6th, it's Chris Paul, Meek Mills, and Gaborni Sidby. And then on May 19th, again, I'll probably mention it all month, Malcolm X was born on May 19th, and I'd never, ever want to forget him. Announcements, May 4th at 11 a.m., there is going to be a joint services in the Western Bayside area at Enoch Baptist Church. So if you live over there or if you just want to visit, it's an event at Enoch Baptist Church, and following that will be a community day. There'll be a time to meet people in the Western Bayside area, which is also District 4. So we're excited about that. Thank you for putting that on the screen. On May 6th at 5 p.m., there will be a special call school board meeting regarding DEI. And Dr. Green will talk about this a little bit more. And then May 6th at 6 p.m., City Council will be voting on whether or not they're going to put the referendum on the ballot regarding the 10-1 voting system. So we want people to be aware of what is going on in local government and where you can attend. We know there's a lot going on, but there's a lot of people in Virginia Beach. There's over 450,000 people in Virginia Beach, of which close to 90,000 are people from our community. So therefore, if you can't make it to one, then go to another one. And on Tuesday night, again, we do have the call meeting. So with that being said, we want to get back to our special guest, Dr. ALVETA Green, so that she can share with us a little bit more about hard work. She came on that school board in November, I believe it is.
Yes.
2024. And as former Vice President Kamala Harris would say, hard work is good work. And I think you found out there's a whole lot of good work that can be done in the city of Virginia Beach on school boards. So Dr. Green, we appreciate it and definitely appreciate you being with us today. So just talk to the audience a little bit more about some of this hard work that you've been doing since you've been there, because I think they not only put forward a resolution, but they also wanted to get rid of even acknowledging, these different Black History Month, Dr. King, and all of these things as well. So talk to the audience a little bit about that, how these things kind of all weave together and then they ultimately came up with this resolution.
All right. Thank you, Miss Allen. And I was thinking about all of that as you were reading special recognitions in May. And so right now, our school division today, we posted about it being Asian American Month, which I was happy to see, because right now they have not finished butchering policy 5-4 that will take care of all of that, as well as Jewish Awareness Month, and a few others that you recognize. And so if the resolution, if the policy -54 incorporates some of those things that we do with regards to equity and ensuring that all groups feel valued. So all of that would go away based on how that policy has been redlined. So anything with the word equity, I don't know if people have ever noticed, but if you would look at the board meeting on April 8th, you'll see a visual behind our dais that talks about our core values, and the word equity is in it. If you go and look at the meeting from April 22nd, and you were there, Ms. Allen,
Yes.
so you know what I'm talking about.
It was gone.
Empty picture hook. So we have not wasted any time dismantling anything related to equity. And if we are not able to secure the votes to get the pause that we would like, as well as hoping that our colleagues will reconsider what they do, because in my heart of hearts, Miss Allen, I really want to believe that my colleagues who voted to move forward with this resolution truly did not have a comprehension as to what they were doing. But as now
I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you for a quick moment. We have Teresa Riddick, we have Bernita Richardson, and other people that are out there that are giving you thumbs up and thanking you so much for bringing forth this knowledge. And they are really appreciative. We have Thomas out there. I think it's Thomas. And they really appreciate you sharing this information, because keep in mind, sometimes we're like in a vacuum somewhere and we don't necessarily have voices out there that are speaking on our behalf. So kudos to you. They are applauding you, and thanking you so much for sharing this information. So now I'm gonna let you continue.
Okay, and you stop me when you need to, because I can talk to you all day on this important topic, anything related to public education. As you know, Ms. Allen, I am very passionate about my work, and have been accused of having passion many times about my work, whether it's when I was an employee or now as a school board member. Because I think it's very important that as an elected official, my community, District 4, elected me to represent their interests and be their advocate on the school board. Some of the things related to having opportunities, and this is an equity example I'm about to give you. Back in early March, there was a vote on the Achievable Dream, which is a wonderful program for students. And it started in CTAC. So I would encourage people to go look on the website at Achievable Dream, and they can learn more of the criteria for our students. But that's an equity program. Anyone can have access to it if they apply. But it's about equity, ensuring that our students, will stay focused and graduate. This year, we have our first cohort of graduates from Achievable Dream, 27 students, which is great because each year we'll have more, but this is the first cohort. I say that to say that we had a vote on expansion of the bus transportation. So students in the Western Bayside community, your community, Miss Allen, and my community, would have an opportunity to participate and attend the Achievable Dream Academy. And to me, that's a vote that should have been unanimous. It wasn't, but we passed. It passed. And I thank my colleagues on both sides who did support Achievable Dream so that we could move forward and ensure that more students in Virginia Beach City Public Schools will have access to that. So that is one piece of advocacy, on behalf of the district. Another, I'm sure our community has heard a lot about the reconfiguration of the tri-campus. Again, there was no intention of having community input for that. People can go back and look at the board tape and see that the board thought they were going to vote that particular March evening on whether or not what the configuration of tri-campus was going to be without community input. They would not have done that in any other attendance zone, but they took for granted that our community does not care or we're not interested in enough. But once I spoke up and where is the community input? I did not want people making decisions about our district without hearing from our district.
And that is very important. As you know, we fought for the 10-1 election system, the new districting, where each district had a representative. And we have noticed that since each district has a representative, instead of this at-large hybrid system where supposedly you had representation when people were all living on the edge, and you would find that there's 3 or 4 people all living within a mile of each other. And so they're almost, joining together on votes, and other people in the city are left completely out. So for those of you who didn't understand why it was important to have district representation, Dr. Green is a prime example of how important that is, because when those parents came out, because myself, Bernita, and others, we came out for that meeting that you had over at Newtown Elementary School, and the parents came out, and the parents was vocal about what they were concerned about. Now, in most instances, the way we were set up before with these huge district sizes of over 60-some thousand people, but you had to get votes from everybody in the whole entire city. Even if you lived in the district, in many instances, you may not win because they put up a competitor against you, an opponent against you, and then they circle the wagons and decide that this is a person we want on school board, or this is a person we want on city council, because we know we can get them to do what we want them to do. And if that community wants anything, we'll just say no. We will just say no. Well, guess what? We now have Dr. Green, and she fights back when they automatically say no to the concerns and the issues of our community in District 4. And so for that, we want to applaud you for that. Now, we are coming close to the end of the show, so I'm going to allow you to give your final comments and just, again, do the clarion call and anything else that you want to share with the audience today. And thank you again so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Ms. Allen. And Ms. Allen, I hope this is the first of many conversations we will have, because I think it's important for our community to be aware of what's going on. And I certainly thank District 4 community first for electing me. And then I also want to thank them for how I am beginning to see the more community engagement, which we saw at the meeting last week, the town hall. And so I am glad to peep so that other districts can see, as you referenced, the importance of the 10-1 system. When people don't think they have a voice, they're not going to present a voice on issues. So again, I applaud you for your advocacy in making sure we have this 10-1 system. So with that being said, there's a lot going on Tuesday night. Our meeting starts at 5 p.m. at the school administration building. please go to the Virginia Beach School Board's website. If you would like to speak at the meeting, you can sign up. You will see the link for signing up. If you just want to attend, we encourage you to attend. Sometimes it's nothing like seeing something in person. Also, if you're able to if you're not able to attend or speak, please email all school board members. There is a link that will say email school board. And there you can email your thoughts on the upcoming call meeting for pausing any more destruction or removal of equity practices in Virginia Beach public schools. And we just cannot say enough the importance of public input with regards to this subject, because it does impact things such as hiring practices, so many programs, clubs in our schools. I mean, we have Hispanic clubs, African American groups, Jewish groups, LGBTQ groups. All that will come to an end if the community does not express their concerns about a lack of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our school division. As an educator, I'm mortified at what will happen instructionally, because the United States of America is a great nation, because this nation was built on the backs of many groups of Americans, not just one group, many groups. Some of the groups didn't even want to come here, but we came and we helped build this country. So it is so important that we keep the understanding of what everyone has contributed to building this great nation. So again, May 6th, 5 p.m., specially called meeting. It is important that when you speak, if you elect to speak, you only can speak to what we are calling the meeting for on the resolution, which is to pause, because I don't want anyone to get gavelled that, you're not on topic. So please, it's very important that they speak to the resolution and to what we're asking in that motion, and they will see it spelled out, and they can pull the resolution and see exactly what section 1 is, or section this that's referenced in that. After you leave the school board meeting, we know as city council, the buildings are in walking distance to each other. So if you call today or fill out the speaking form, you can get a low number. So if you need to run over to city council, you may be able to do so as well. Do one stop parking, because the buildings are close enough that you can walk it.
Wonderful. Well, once again, Dr. Green, we thank you. We appreciate all your hard work. As our former vice president says, hard work is good work. And you have been doing some good work on the school board. We definitely appreciate you coming on the show today. And the clarion call, you gave it loud and clear. For those who did not hear it, the clarion call is to show up and speak to the issue. And that means you want to speak to the issue about the fact that they are pausing the resolution. So don't get off on a tangent going somewhere. Stay focused and speak to the fact that Dr. Green and her team of people are asking that you pause. With that being said, thank you so much. I know you have somewhere else that you have to be. We appreciate you joining us today. The community appreciates you joining us today. And for those of you who are listening, either live or listening later, we ask that you share this. If you live in Virginia Beach, you definitely want to share it. If you don't live in Virginia Beach, hearing some of the things that we're doing might be beneficial for you in your community. So don't take this for granted that when we talk, that we're only talking to each other. we see the global community and we understand how important it is that we care about our sisters and brothers, regardless of what city or state that they live in. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, and you have a good afternoon.
Thank you. And thank you, Dream Maker. Public education makes it happen to be a dream maker.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. And see you Tuesday night. All right. Well, guess what? This has been a fantastic show. I hope everyone has enjoyed having Dr. Green on today. And we definitely want to bring her back along with other people, not necessarily on the school board, but they also work in the education arena. And as you know, this month, this May, as we indicated, it's Mental Health Month. It's National Poetry Month. It's Asian American Pacific Islanders Heritage Month. And there is nothing wrong with learning about other people. Military Appreciation Month. We live in Hampton Roads, and guess what? There is a lot of active duty as well as retired military, former military people. And we want to make sure that we support them as well. And then again, tomorrow, get out and vote. You want to get out there early and vote. And again, as Dr. Green mentioned, on Tuesday night, it starts at 5 p.m. Arrive early. If you're going to speak, go ahead and start sending in your information right now so you can be on the early part of the speaking. Because if you looked at that previous school board meeting, that meeting lasted until after midnight. So I would suggest that if you're planning on speaking, go ahead and send your information in early. Get a number so that you know whether you're number 1 or number 100. Okay. And again, this I really appreciate her, Dr. Green coming out and sharing so much information with us. As we close out the show, we want to thank her. We want to remind everybody she represents District 4. District 4 is what's considered the Bayside area of Virginia Beach. Bayside area consists of Aragona. It consists of the Lake Edward, Campus East community. So if you're listening today, she's your representative. Get to know her. She's accessible. And she appreciates hearing from the community. And with that being said, again, today, enjoy the show. I am Georgia F. Allen with GA for Justice. And next week, we will be here at the same time, 12 noon. And we're going to see you next week. Thank you so much again, Henderson, for allowing us this opportunity.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's about the community. It's about our future generation. And like I said, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to host this topic, GA for Justice, in your show. We have to get people to understand is the more people that they share this information with, the better it is for our community and for our future generation. So once again, you've been listening and watching GA for Justice and her guests. Don't forget to share this with everybody on your social media. You can even email it. If you don't want to put it on Facebook, you can email it to them and connect them with YouTube. So you have so many platforms you can share this with. But we'll be back again, same time, same place, and the same bet channel on GA for Justice on WVDM on the talk show. Bye-bye, y'all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.